3. Oh, wait, ready?
Oh.
Ready? Countdown?
Yep.
Yo. 3, 2.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
What's up, bitches, and welcome back to episode 8 of season 2 of From the Ground Up podcast.
Hey.
Before we get into AKAs today, we are going to give all the shout outs to all the bitches out there. And the first shout out goes to Keep It Medicinal podcast.
Shout out.
Yes, that's where we're recording today. That's where we've been recording for ages. So shout out to Lady Boss Ari and shout out to Irish. Thank you once again
Hey,
for
much love to the fam.
the amazing new setup. Again,
beautiful.
Oh,
I feel like
100.
every episode it just keeps like upgrading and upgrading.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
100.
they're leveling us
Yeah,
up big
Oh,
you
time.
guys need
They
to hit
are.
them up, man. If he's want to do something like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, hit them
100%.
up. Like, yeah, they'll help you out. But yeah, other shout out goes to Tommy Chong.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
Tommy
Shout
Chong.
out to Tommy Chong.
Yo, let's go.
Much love.
Yes,
Thanks for your
thanks so
logos,
much.
as you can see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the logos,
Straight
Tommy.
up,
Yep.
all the logos.
I'm going to give a shout out to Alien Strains,
Oh, 100%.
which will be coming out very, very soon. And you'll be seeing some cameos from your favorite bitches.
Yes, let's go. Super excited for that.
Yes.
I can't wait.
All right.
Yeah, and then did you want to give a shout out to Viceroy's Nibs?
Yeah, massive shout out to Vice Rage for these amazing glasses. Hello Festivals.
Hello,
Let's go. Yep, hit them up, guys. You won't be disappointed.
Not disappointed at all. And shout out to Hayes Radio Network. Shout out to everybody there. We love you guys.
Straight
shout
up.
out.
And we know you love us. So.
Yes, we know that, guys.
But let's get into why we really love this podcast, guys. And I think it's me, which is Mihaka,
Let's
a.k.a.
go.
the Lunar Kid, Double D, a.k.a. Mr. I don't know what to say, a.k.a. Mr. I'm gay.
Gay boy.
So long.
So long, gay boys. What's up, everyone? It's your girl. Oh, wow. Wait, are you done with your AKs?
Yeah.
Shiz, my bad. All right.
Don't blame me.
Sorry about that. Just jumped straight into my intro, didn't I?
Oh, good.
All right. What's up, everyone? It's your girl Nibs, aka that girl.
Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you, backup singers, aka fucking best driller in the world.
She's an urchin.
Yeah, Ursha Glasses. Catch me at Jessica Jade's party on with them. Yo, let's go. Shout out.
Yeah. Here we have myself, the most favorited. Your favorite host guy is Bells, aka the golden wheelchair right here.
Hey, golden wheelchair.
AKA the coldest nights reserved for birthing of the soldier types.
Ooh.
AKA
That's enough about you.
AKA follow me on Instagram.
Let's go.
Yeah, guys, so we're so happy to be back.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a
100.
little minute. A couple of things been going on. So it's kind of take the back seat for a
Yeah.
couple of weeks. But now
100.
we're back on the road, back on the grind. And today is a very exciting episode. Not in a sense where it's big energy, but more so we're going to be talking about something that is very, very taboo to talk about. And today we're going to be speaking about sex.
Woo!
Yay.
Yes.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's talk about you and me.
Hey.
Let's talk about
Talk about me. Only me.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we kind of put a poll up on Instagram. Got a couple of polls and also questions.
Yeah.
Yes,
Should I go
Yeah.
through
So
it?
do you want to run through some of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Before we start though, sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to say like we don't have the correct answers for any of the things that we're
Love
talking
that.
about. We're just opening the conversation because definitely in our communities, like the Pacifica community, like, bitch, this stuff is so taboo. It
Very
makes me
taboo.
sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So let's hit it, bitches.
Yeah. So, Mihaka, for everyone that follows us on Instagram,
It was all of us.
yeah, Mihaka put up a poll on Instagram and it said, growing up in the Pacific family, did your family discuss sex with you? And we got a good response.
Yeah, I was
shout out to
surprised.
everyone that
I
responded.
wasn't surprised. No, not the the way the poll went.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually surprised but yeah, read the results, sorry, before I chime in.
Yeah, okay. So we had 8% that wrote in, that didn't write in, sorry, that responded that they did talk about sex growing up in a family. Yep. In a family, what would you say? Sorry.
Household,
Yeah, household.
Talking
That's the
about
word.
sex.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we had 92 people that responded no.
Percent, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, 92%.
That
That's
makes
a
sense.
really big,
Oh, big
really
time.
big.
When you saw the numbers, what was your initial reaction?
You know what? I wasn't surprised only because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't get taught that, so I was not surprised at all.
Yeah, yeah.
What about yous?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I was just like, that sounds about right, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, why do you say that? It sounds like,
Just with in school growing up, everyone's pretty much on the same page. All the Islanders,
yeah,
grown up Islanders, no one's really having that talk at home.
yeah,
So pretty much everyone kind of knows like what's taboo, what's everyone speaks about, or
Yeah,
what gets swept
100,
under the
yeah.
carpet or avoided.
yeah.
What about you, Mihaka?
I was a little bit surprised.
Wow, yeah.
Only because, like, I know me and you have spoken about it in news. Like, when I grew up, it was very spoken about within
Yeah.
our families. Family, sorry. Multiple families, multiple children, multiple wives. No.
Nice. We like multiple wives.
Not me. Not me.
No, but yeah, like, within my family, it was easily spoken about. I think because they wanted to prepare us
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
again, I was very outspoken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So you forced the conversation.
yeah, so I think I was very forceful on the conversation.
You
Yeah.
seem like the type that very interested and want to know like that kind of stuff.
Oh, hell
Like
yeah.
a kid that would go home and be
I
like,
want details.
What's this? What's this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want birds and the bees. I want the real things. No.
There was also another poll that you put up, and it said, "Do you think we should educate our children more before puberty hits?" And 4% responded no, and 96 responded yes.
Wow.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I'm not surprised with that one.
Yeah, same.
So how do you feel? Do you feel like they should know before puberty? Or
100%.
Yeah, because that's when everything, like, all the
begins?
hormones kick in. You know?
Testosterone.
Yeah, especially with girls, it happens so much earlier than
Whoa,
than men.
whoa. Don't be exposing me over here.
No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
What's funny over there, Bill?
Nah, 100% believe in that.
Nah, I think it's all about the boys and there.
Nah, yeah, I think it should be even, and it should be before puberty.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're
100.
just pretty much learn how to swim in the deep end.
Yeah.
So it's good to have your kids prepared and taught the right way.
Oh, 100%.
And for me, I don't know if it was the same as you. We were learning about sex ed in like year 5,
Yeah.
Yeah.
year 6, and like they full made us watch a full
Pornhub.
almost nah. They full made us watch a full pregnancy.
Oh, wow.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really
Yeah,
good.
at the time I was
you.
like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I don't know anything, you know what I mean? But then at the same time,
It's because we were
understood
so
later on.
uneducated as
Yeah.
well,
Mm.
yeah,
and I
about it.
understood like, damn, I appreciate that they did teach us that.
Yeah.
Oh, 100.
Yeah.
I think with me, I feel like a shout out to my sister-in-law Murray.
Yeah, shout out. We love you, Murray.
Yeah, we do. And I know for her, she feels like we should, and like, whereas my brother's like, bro, don't talk about anything, like, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I feel like it's so needed, especially
Yes.
with the kids these days.
Yeah.
I feel like-
especially with the access they have
Oh,
as well.
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
internet,
Yeah.
it's just crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
So I
Yeah.
feel like everything starts for home, like at home for me, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And I feel like if you educate your kids well enough, when they get sent out to, like, you know,
Yeah.
the real world or whatever, like,
They will know,
Yeah.
they'll
or they
know.
should know
Yeah.
what's better,
Oh,
or like what's good
100%.
for them
Yeah.
and what's not good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
100.
it goes for everything that kind of, I know that they want to shield them.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll be doing your kid a disservice because once they hit reality, it's not going to be what they thought. they're just gonna be like, this is so much. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not gonna be prepared very well.
Oh, 100%.
Rather than having a strong foundation in like just anything, like your attitude, sex, like you're gonna be
Yeah.
aware of exactly like that's definitely I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? At least like sometimes sometimes they still are gonna do it, make the wrong choices, but at least make it harder for them to make the wrong choice.
Yeah. And educate them more,
Yeah.
like well enough, so
Yeah.
that they can make the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And also the not, like young kids and teenagers, we don't like they don't understand the magnitude of their choices.
Yeah.
So just having sex at a young age, they don't understand that, bro. Like a baby could come from this.
Oh,
You
100%.
could turn into a dad when you're
Yeah.
15, and
You don't
You know,
have anything
15
set out.
it's freaking so young. Like
Yeah.
they're not even grown up themselves,
Yeah.
and
They
it's
haven't
just
fully developed.
yeah.
Yeah, there was also questions that got written in by our supporters. Should I read them out? Just wanna
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
to our supporters. For
shout
this
out
Yeah,
to our
shout out.
supporters. We love you guys.
We love you
100%,
all. We're not
it's
going to say any
appreciated.
names or anything, just to like,
Out of-
just keep it, like,
anonymous,
neutral, yeah.
But yeah, shout out to everyone that wrote in. One of the questions that got asked was, what age should mothers talk to their kids about sex? My daughter is 15.
before 15. Like, to me, I think it should be before 15.
Yeah.
Like, she's probably already started her period.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
probably already having those hormones kick in, like taking over her emotions, her
Yeah.
thoughts. Like, I don't know, she could be well prepared before 15.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
100%.
Do you have a specific age?
I honestly reckon by 12, 13, that's for me is like the
Yeah.
perfect age, because starting from 12 and 15, not 15, 12 and 13, I reckon is the appropriate age.
yeah.
Like, I didn't have any kids, but
That we know of.
Yo, crack up. Oh, mi
Oh,
hako,
they caught me.
child support. No, but yeah, like, I didn't have any kids, but I got lots of nieces and nephews, and also for myself growing up, I wish I was taught at a younger age.
Yeah.
Only because I know when I went into high school, I had no clue.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I honestly feel like it's important to start at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I feel like 13 is a great age.
Yeah.
Very great. Like at least like start the convo there. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the whole thing, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you know
no
what I
way.
mean? Just
100.
start having those little talks here and there.
Mm.
And just kind of work your way into it
Yeah.
until you think every time, oh, they're ready to hear the next step. The next step as they mature and grow older.
Yeah. I think, yeah, probably like, maybe like when the double digits start.
Yeah,
like
100%.
around there. Like you don't have to like full, like you said,
Yeah.
go into it and be like,
This was
this is
scary.
what bitches do. Like, no.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
like
yeah.
even before you educate them on sex, you should educate. You should ovulate. No, no, like before you even teach them about sex, you should really enforce morals into them as well, because
Oh,
sex and
well
morals,
said.
especially when you're young, they always don't line up, because you're always focused on getting the end result, which is getting it in,
Yeah.
or I didn't even know what I was going to say after that because I lost it. But yeah, like educate your children on morals and then
Yeah.
sex, because it'll all line up in
Yeah,
the
I
lineage down
agree.
the line.
Like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, you're kind of saying, like, if you teach them well enough, they'll
Yeah.
know when the time does come. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like we're going to
yeah.
start talking about this. Yeah, like you're preparing them for that sex
100,
top
yeah.
as well. Sex top. Sex talk.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, there was next question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So next question says being okay. So this one is very deep. So this one says being sexually abused as a kid. Now I have issues with other men, even family being around my kids. Is that wrong of me?
Not wrong of you, it's wrong of the person that did it.
100%.
I wouldn't say it's wrong of you, but you maybe speak to someone. If you haven't, speak to someone about it so you
Yeah.
could learn to like trust men or family members again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, same. I feel like a lot of healing will help that,
Yeah.
but that's not wrong at all. I feel like they would know. Like, it's not like they think everyone's a predator. It's just at the back of their mind. I'm sure they'll just be very cautious.
Yeah.
Because if something like, say, if you got, I know this is a stupid like comparison or analogy. Like, if someone does you wrong, like very wrong, obviously when you meet other people, like your guard's gonna be up to a certain point. So I think that comes down to healing and speaking with your partner as well. I think it's going to be a great thing. But
Even speak with someone that's experienced
Yeah.
something similar.
open up. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely
100.
open up. But that's a tricky one because it's hard to say. Like, is that feeling ever going to leave?
Yeah.
And maybe it won't, but I don't think you should feel bad for it.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, just open up and hear about that thing.
Yeah,
I think that
feel
would help a bit.
Yeah, that would help a lot. I know for myself, I feel like, maybe even getting to know them properly, like whenever your kids do sleep over someone else's house, that would help, and just talk to them and let them know. And plus, I don't know, like, I don't reckon he should feel bad about it at all. Like, yeah.
Oh, it's a guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, shit. I think so. I'm pretty sure it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just
Should
give
we
it
just
no
say it as a
gender,
guy? Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so we can go both ways with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
hard.
But definitely I feel like maybe speak to someone, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I don't think you should feel bad for that. Maybe just be
Yeah, no way.
super aware of who is around your kid.
yeah, your
Yeah.
surroundings,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but also know that you have to heal yourself as well because
Oh,
you don't want to be
100.
stuck in feeling that way. Not that you're the person that started that feeling,
Oh,
but
100.
the effects are going to keep happening. So, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But thank you so much for
Oh,
having the
Sharing
courage
that.
to
yeah.
share
Yeah.
That was so amazing for them
yeah.
to share, yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah,
Thank you
shout
so
out.
much. Appreciate it.
So the next question that got sent in was, what's your thoughts on Islander parents not educating their kids properly on sex? Now, that is a awesome question.
Yeah.
I feel like that is so awesome. My thoughts on it is, I feel like because our parents weren't educated on it, like, that's how we grew up. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I also feel like it shouldn't be like that anymore. But I feel like they don't know any better.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like,
No, yeah, like it's. I always feel weird when I say this word, but it's like it's not being educated enough on
Yeah.
on how to communicate those to your
Oh,
children,
100%. Yeah.
to other people as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think overall it's mostly just communication in general with Islanders. Not just about sex, about so many things.
Yeah.
Not for the most part. I feel like just growing up, my experience or all my friends around me, it's not really like talking's not a big thing.
Yeah.
It's sitting down and disagreeing and that being okay. So it's mostly just like not even talked about.
Yeah, because...
But-
Sorry, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, but that's something that's definitely, I think, taking a toll on our people. So having more like young parents, not
Yeah.
saying like that's a terrible thing, but obviously we want you to have kids when you're ready. Because it leads to a lot of pain and misguidance and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I definitely think that has to be the next step.
Oh, 100. Yeah. And I think it all comes down to, like, it's so swept under the rug kind of thing. Like, not just with sex, like so many taboo topics
Yeah.
when it comes to the Pacifica families, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I feel like that definitely is a cycle that needs to be broken.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, I feel like, because when you, okay, so when you speak about something and then your parents don't like it, but you keep going, it's like,
Oh, I love that.
I feel like
I live for
I
it.
feel like it's rude, like disrespectful, like, you know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
shouldn't be,
Yeah.
because it's something that's so needed, and
Yeah.
like you need to be educated about it, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like it comes off disrespectful because you're like not talking back to your parents, but you're like speaking
Stepping
on
a line.
yeah, like stepping on.
Yeah, maybe
Flaws.
that line
Yeah.
shouldn't be that close. You know what I mean? Maybe should line like saying one thing,
Yeah.
the line's here, but it should be maybe halfway, or
Yeah.
not just more on their side.
Yeah.
Oh.
But still,
100.
like we should be able to disagree and share our views
Yeah.
because it's a very important thing to. And I know it's hard because I don't have kids, but it's very important because as we were kids to
And
have our
growing up,
voices,
yeah.
you know what I mean, heard and valued and taken in
Oh,
overall.
100%.
Yeah, and just it's good to, at least my parents are gonna think about it instead of being no, I
Straight
don't want to hear
no,
another thing
yeah.
about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because I hate when that happens. Like, you know, like I know with Samoans, they're like, oh, my bees, like that's like little shit.
Like you're overstepping.
yeah, like why do
just
you want to
shut
know
it.
about that? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you should know, you're not even at an age where you should be thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's like
people do think about it. Yeah.
exactly, and it's like this needs to be brought up. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we need to be educated.
didn't-
because
yeah.
that's how teen pregnancy happens.
Yeah.
Like what happens with rape,
Molestation.
like, molestation. Like that's why they're so scared to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like because they feel like, wow, this is something we're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they're like too scared to open it up. Like, you know, not that they're doing it, like, you know, but
Yeah.
it's happened. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. I think like another tricky thing that like maybe our parents or people that are having the sex conversation with us is that
Sorry about this.
well, I totally forgot what I was gonna say now. What was I saying?
Like how it's so taboo to talk about it to your parents, and they're like, my bees.
Oh yeah,
Abusing.
yeah.
molestation.
So we might not know that maybe they've experienced something.
That's
you know,
true,
like
yeah.
within the bad realm of the sex talk. You know, we might not know. Maybe they're uncomfortable sharing it. Maybe they haven't even told anybody. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So we just have to understand each other, and we just really have to communicate, especially to our own
Communicate,
children. Like
yes.
we are supposed to be the closest things to our parents, and
Oh,
the way that we
100.
can avoid molestation, well, to our best extent, pedophilia, blah blah blah, is by educating them so they know these signs that like that's a creep.
Yeah.
He's a creep. She's
Yeah.
a creep. Like
Yeah.
Going like, they wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? We've heard that
Yeah.
before. Like just second guessing it. It should be like a clear like. You can't just like a little bit do something like. If you're thinking is that right or not, it's most probably not right.
yeah. If you have to think about
Yeah.
it, yeah.
And also because, like, you know, another thing is that, like, they need to teach, like, that needs to be taught in households is if a grown-up asks you to keep a secret, like, you
Don't.
know what I mean? Don't. Because grown-ups shouldn't be asking kids to lie.
Yeah, no
Grown-ups
way.
shouldn't be asking kids to hide things from their parents.
Yeah, what are
know
you
I mean?
teaching them?
Yeah, like, so I feel like this, like, families need to, like, pretty much come to a point where they communicate, like, that kind of stuff to their kids because it's so important.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like, you wouldn't even know because they're too scared to open up because you keep closing those doors whenever they bring it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, frick, it needs to be, like, really spoken on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Do you have
yeah.
any
What a
more
great
questions?
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was honestly a great question. Love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
And, oh, this is a good one. It says, in the PI families, do you think parents are more strict on girls than boys when it comes to sex? And if yes, why? And if you disagree, if, you know, we're all types of rushing out tonight. If you disagree, why? Bells, do you want to open that?
I
Share?
think definitely that's 100%. Boys are definitely like more lenient towards, and yeah, like, and it's a hard thing because as Polynesians, our girls are like our queens, and they're like it's kind of like the
Queen.
Crown
I'll give you Queen.
yeah, but like
Pretty
them
princess.
with Polynesians, like we're going to protect the I feel I'm gonna fresh out the
No, take your time. It's so
Press
old.
oh my gosh, I didn't even know how to say it.
What's the
Look
word
what
you're
she
trying to
did to me
say?
now. It's kind of protect what's preserving life.
Oh, 100%.
And as we know, of course, like, you know, women carry the kids. Obviously, the men are there as well, but you know what I mean? It's a big thing for Polynesians to protect the women in the household. And that's what it comes down to, I think, because the streets is crazy out there and no one wants to even, like, I don't even want to think about
Yeah.
if you know what I mean, something happens to a niece, sister, or anything, you know what I mean? We can't even bear the pain, so they try and prevent it as much as they can. Where it's just like, we're gonna lock you
Yeah.
inside until you're, you know, at a certain age. And
No.
boys, it's kind of like,
They get more freedom.
Because
Yeah,
they feel like
because-
they can handle it.
Yeah,
like
they
they
can-
can handle themselves, you know what
Yeah.
I
But
mean?
it takes two to
Yeah.
tango, bitches.
yeah, I think, yeah, the boys are always, I don't,
Yeah.
the boys can handle themselves, but at the same time, we're starting to see, I don't think that's the case.
Oh,
If we're talking about
100.
physical, yeah, 100%, but at the same time, it's still not safe on the physical
Oh,
side.
big time.
You know what I mean? We've got a lot of men dying to, you know, street violence. At the same time, I feel like the numbers are so high with incarceration and also suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now
Oh,
it's kind of,
100.
you know, it's starting to shift. Like the women are safe inside, but then
I don't know.
like
Oh, well, yeah.
yeah, like
That's how
not
they are.
safe,
Like, yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's perceived that they're gonna be safe if they're not let out the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the males are just not little, kind of like free roaming, or they're just like they got way more leverage and you know
Yeah.
rope to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But
Which is so unfair.
Oh,
Yeah.
big time. I feel like growing up, the boys got away scotch-free. Like, they just got to do whatever, you know what I mean? Not saying that I didn't, because I know growing up, like, I was allowed out, but
Yeah.
also my brother was so strict on me.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows this, or like our day ones would, like, that's been watching us from the start, but my old man passed away when I was very young. So when he passed away, like, my brothers really stepped up.
Yeah.
And there was a stage where I was living with my brother. Like, I remember, like, Teresa would be like, our close friend Teresa would be like, come, let's go for a drive, blah blah blah. My brother would be like, no, you can't go. I'll be like, nah, I'm not gonna ask. I already know what the answer is. It's gonna be a no. And I was just like, why though? Like, if I was a boy, I knew I would be allowed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why is there a double standard?
Yeah, and as well, I will say now, I walk out the door straight away. Like, if I want to leave, I'm out.
Oh,
Like, you know what I
straight. Yeah.
mean? But I do feel like, so with this question, it says, like, in PI families, do you think parents are more strict on girls than boys when it comes to sex? I also feel like with us girls, like, no one, like, none of them, like, how do I explain this? Like, the men, they're not open about it with us girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, my mum wasn't. And even with my mum, with me going out, she would always be like, you know, like, don't go out and be like, you know, little shit,
Yeah.
like, you know, on the streets and shit like that. But I was like, fuck, if it was a boy, he would have walked straight out and would have been like, you're
Yeah.
all goods, you know what I mean?
No questions
Yeah,
asked.
Yeah.
no questions asked. But then I think as well with my sister, because, like, I feel like I'm more, like, manlier than her, like, tomboyish more. So even with her, my mum was like real strict on her, but with me, she was like all goods, because, like, she felt like I was okay to handle myself,
Yeah.
like, being
and
out
she's
there.
already
Yeah.
experienced like
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, but yeah, I definitely think that in Islander homes, it's more strict on girls than it is guys.
Yeah.
How was
Yeah.
it for you?
I think for me, we were all in that regard. We were treated quite equally. I
that's
think
good.
if anything, I was the one that wasn't allowed out.
Oh, gay boy.
Yeah, I think, but I'm also a lot more crazier than my sisters.
yeah.
So like, I
Risk
think it makes
taker.
makes
Yeah.
a lot more sense. And I definitely got in a lot more trouble than my sisters.
Well, you did burn the house down.
Which one?
Straight up. But yeah.
Yeah.
just a question to add on to that. You're saying there's a double standard, and do you think that double standard is fair? Because from my perspective, I feel like it's fair, not because obviously it's unfair at the same time, but I feel like it's fair because when you go out, do you understand why you weren't allowed out from your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you
Are you,
agree?
are you still angry with it, or or
No
now
way.
you're
Like,
you know what?
no way. Like,
I see what he was doing.
like, I do see what he was doing,
Yeah,
but in a way, I'm like, everyone has to learn for themselves, kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like, you know what I mean? And I do understand it came from a place of love and protection, but it's like, man, our oldest sister, right? She was going out all the time, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But then it came to me, I was young, like the younger sister,
Yeah.
the youngest of them all.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, no. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
but do you understand? As the youngest sister, it's like, so if you had your younger sister, and there's obviously you're older, you, and then say you're the oldest, and then you have 3 sisters.
Yeah.
Are you gonna treat them kind of differently from age?
What do you mean?
Do you think that was
but I
the
was-
case at all? Or how old are we even talking?
Like 18. But like that's what I mean. Like if you
Yeah.
don't give that trust to someone, they're gonna go do it behind your backs. Like you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
same.
And that's what I did. Like
Yeah.
growing up, I went to parties, I lied.
Snuck out.
I snuck
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
I lied,
We
like
all
you know,
did.
and
Yeah.
that's what needs to stop. Like
Yeah.
if you give that trust to them, like
They will come to you with
Yeah,
like maybe not everything, but most of
most
everything.
things, yeah. Are you pulling a cramp over there, Bells? In the middle of the
I was
podcast?
just stretching, but I was scared I was gonna kick you in the leg.
Wow,
was
playing
like half
footsies, is it?
Kenya. No.
But
yeah.
yeah.
It's a tricky thing for me because I feel like there should be maybe not as much as boys, but at the same time maybe tell them why
Yeah.
and prepare them
Yeah,
like
That's
the
the
whole
main
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
is
like,
It's like
explain
find a-
communication.
yeah,
Like
a middle ground kind of.
if I understood where he was coming from back then, I wouldn't have cried myself to sleep those nights. That I wasn't allowed out. No,
Yeah.
no, but like you know what I mean. Like everything comes down to communication, and then
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
us Pacifica people, it's
There's not
so
a lot.
hard for us to communicate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it is.
and
Well,
even
majority,
yeah,
yeah.
majority, yeah, and I feel like if he sat me down and spoke to me and told me, laid everything out,
Explained
for me, yeah,
why.
I
Blah,
would have
blah, blah.
understood, you know. But
Yeah.
then I was just like, oh, like man, like it's personal attack.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
Because all you were getting was the no.
Yeah.
No explanation. Just no, you're staying home.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is why, because I said so, or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like,
And then I felt like, man, like, fuck, this is why, like,
Especially at that age. I thought you were talking about bloody 15
Oh,
or something.
nah, free me, no. No, but honestly, like, I felt like, man, I seen so many people go, like, especially, like, with my best friend, like, you know, like, with Teresa, like, she'll just say to her parents, like, this is where I'm going, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, they'll be okay. Like, there's that trust there, like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I felt like, she'll be like, just go ask, what's the worst? If he says no, he says no. I'm like, man, I don't want to ask. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to get in trouble. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
for even asking if I can leave the house at, like, this time and, like, go out with you, like, you know. And it was like, I wish there was that trust back then.
Yeah.
But
that
then, like,
relationship,
yeah. But then it did grow, like, you
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that was good. Now I do what I want. Tell me to stay home, boy.
I wish you would.
And then he's gonna watch me and then call me after this. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a question
Okay, yeah.
for you guys. Did you ever have like the talk with your parents or family members?
Almost. So close.
Oh,
Me and my brother,
wow.
we had a family barbecue, whatever, you know, the oldies all drinking.
Yeah.
And me and my brother, I think we were just on the computer. And then my dad walked in, obviously had a couple of drinks, and out of nowhere, he's just like, what he's doing? Like, nah, nothing. And he's like, just talking, and then he goes, yep, I'll be back. And when I come back, we're going to talk about the birds and the bees. Me and my brother were like, no. Yeah,
Damn.
I was probably like year 7 or year 8.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Fio poco." Dad, we already know. We don't want to talk about that.
already
Like,
know.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't so like as much that we did know, even though I didn't know a lot at that age. But I just, as a man, or not a man, but a young kid, a male, you kind of like it gets like uncomfortable to speak about that kind of stuff.
And especially because it's so taboo, and
Yeah.
you're already at an age where it's like, man, you should have
Yeah,
told
I
me
was already like
beforehand.
14,
Yeah.
15. Like, I already know, yeah.
Ah!
Hotline bling right here.
Settle down, dude.
What about you, Nims?
I know for me growing up, it was so taboo.
Yeah.
It wasn't spoken of at all. Still to this day. Nope. Like, and it's so weird because like even if my sister asks me questions like about guys or whatever, I'm like, bro, why are you asking? And that's my mindset now because
Yeah.
it's so taboo, and I'm like,
And it's like ingrained in your
Yeah.
head that this
Yeah.
is the process of
yeah. So it was just like, frick, it shouldn't be like that. Like I should be able to share with my sister.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, hey, get lost, man. Why are you being weird?
Out of my face.
Yeah, why are you asking me this?
Too much to talk about.
Yeah, are you having problems?
I'm like, which boy do you want to know about?
Or is it the girls?
Whoa. It was like strictly dickly around here, guys.
Right, bells?
Oh, mate.
Wow,
But-
that's it. Spill the drink on me.
No, but yeah, it wasn't brought up
Yeah.
once. Still to this day, and
Same, yeah.
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 I think like I had not the full things, but it was just like, do you have a girlfriend? Like asking questions, like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but it was never like, this is this is why you don't do this. This is what happens if
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Now that you think about that, it's quite weird.
it is.
We haven't even had the like proper sex education. Like,
Yeah.
speech.
And we're almost 30.
I'm almost 21. Like, fuck, no.
But yeah. Do you want to, anyone else have any questions?
Oh, I'll probably just like say like how it came up like with me and my family.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
talk about it.
So the first time we ever spoke about it, it was me and my older sister. I was in primary school still. I think I
Yeah.
was maybe in year 4 or 5.
Nice.
I don't know how old that is.
Yep.
How old
I
is
think
that?
it's about 11.
What year was
I
it?
think year 6
5?
is 12.
Like
Oh,
10,
yeah.
11,
So
12.
that year 5's like, yeah, about
10.
9.
Yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. Anyways, my mum got injured at work, and like, all the bitches, like
Yeah.
you and your girls, like
Yeah.
you play real stupid. So they had bought her like this gift box of like condoms.
Oh, yeah. Like just those
just
boxes.
sex thing,
yeah.
like sex toys. And then I was going through it. And then I pulled out this thing, and I thought it was like extensions for your fingers, like fat fingers.
What do you mean?
Wow.
But yeah, it wasn't fingers, guys.
What was
it? Was
it?
dick. Like it was like plastic dicks that
Oh,
just
like-
had like holes in them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I would put them on my fingers
Yeah.
because I was like, they're fingers.
Yeah,
and then
you were young,
I was young.
uneducated,
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't know.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, I didn't even have my own dick. Like, no, but yeah. So I was playing around with those, and then my sister saw me, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just playing with the fingers."
How old was your older sister?
We're 8 years apart,
Okay,
so
yeah.
yeah, whatever
okay,
that is.
18 or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she would have like just been, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was playing with it, and then she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm playing with the fingers." She's like, "They're not fingers," and I was like, "What are they?" And then she was like, "All right," like sat me down, and she was
Yep.
like, "It's dick," like, and then I was like, "Oh, okay," and then
Like
she
penises,
explained
yeah.
like, like mum and dad had you, they had me, like. When two people get together, like they can have a family and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God, no way.
Yeah.
And then she had taught me about like everything, like
Oh,
safe
nice.
sex. She was like, this is a condom, you take it off, you put it on like this, like all of that she showed me.
So did she get told by your parents?
I don't know if she got taught by my parents.
It's on the street. No.
Probably. She's still there. No, $30, guys. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, the second time I got in trouble at school, and I was in primary school, but I was in year 6 this time. And then my mum was like, telling me like, you know, if you stop it, like if you keep being like an idiot, like you're gonna end up in jail. Like, do you know what happens in jail? And I was like, I don't know, like what happens in jail?
Yeah.
And then she was like, you know, like you'd have to go to a men's like jail.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she knew I was gay then, like, let's
Yeah.
be serious. And then she was just explaining to me, like, you know, there's some bad people within, like, jail
Yeah,
or even
yeah.
outside of jail that could really do things to you. She was talking to me about molestation,
Yeah.
pedophilia.
Yeah.
She was talking to me about STIs. She educated.
Educated. She was educated as dedicated.
She was
My mom was
educating
my
me.
teacher.
She was educating me on like STIs or sexual transmitted
That's so
diseases,
good, though.
about AIDS,
Yeah.
about HIV. So I feel like when she gave me all of that information years later, that's when I realized I was like, wow, like I really benefited off these because I didn't have sex till later on in life.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do it as young as
Yeah.
most people do it these days. But yeah, that's my story, guys.
Yeah.
Tune
No,
in next
that's-
Thursday.
No, that's good. I feel like it's so needed, especially with STIs and everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
straight
like,
up.
man, you know what? Still to this day, it's so bad I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, a lot of people
Like,
don't.
Yeah, I really don't.
A lot
Yeah,
of people
well,
don't.
actually getting Miaka's mum to come teach us about this.
No.
Sex ed with Keren.
Yo, Karen will show you.
Get you ready.
And show you her ticket.
You're an idiot. You're a freaking idiot.
No.
No, I mean the ones that you put on your fingers.
You're an idiot. All right. Nah, that was good.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear.
That's
Because
the
it's
first
so
time I've ever
different.
heard something like that.
Yeah.
Especially within the Polynesians. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I know anyone that was taught, like,
Yeah.
you know, before.
I don't know very many.
Yeah, very few.
Yeah. I'm
Which-
not going to say who I
Yeah,
do
which
know, but
hopefully it does change, like, these days. Yeah,
Hopefully, like, this conversation starts
Oh,
something. With
opening it
something,
up,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, there was another question that got sent in. What are you laughing at over there?
Nothing.
Not to.
Educated.
Educated, medicated, dedicated.
But yeah, let's go to the next question. So the next question is, not a question, but what's your thoughts on people using sex as a coping mechanism?
What's our
Very
thoughts?
amazing question.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Shout out to that artist.
Yes.
Yeah. But what are your guys' thoughts?
Do you want to speak yours first, or?
Can you read it again?
Yeah, sweet. So it says, it's not a question, but what is your thoughts on people using sex as a coping mechanism?
Oh,
So that's kind of what would you say?
that's hard.
Yeah.
Because it could go in so many directions. Like it could be from like abuse,
Yeah.
like earlier,
Oh, 100%.
or it could be not feeling love
Yeah.
from your family or
Yeah.
people you thought were close to you.
Yeah.
You could seek it in other ways, such as sex. I don't know. That's very,
Should we come back to that one?
yeah. Who's next?
Bells, do you have anything you wanted to say? Or should we
I
go?
feel like that's such a dangerous thing.
Mm.
And when you're not upfront with what you're dealing with, you tend to leak out in options like this where things will get so much worse. Like getting someone pregnant off a one night stand, you know what I mean? Or catching an STD, speaking about, or, you know, and especially trying to raise a kid off someone you had a relationship with, barely met them, you know?
Yeah.
And or it could go down to them getting an abortion, like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's a very dangerous thing. But also like understanding to why people like
Yeah.
tend to lean that way.
100.
Yeah, but yeah, everyone be very safe and cautious on how you're dealing with what you're dealing with.
Yeah, I love that answer, Bells. Just going off what you just said, there was we did a reaction for Amo the MC, and there was a quote that he said, and it was hurt people hurt people. So I feel like people, you know, like that do use that as a escape mechanism. I feel like they haven't fully healed.
Oh, yeah.
And like
They haven't even come to terms with it.
yeah, what happened, or so especially you saying like with pregnancies and like abortions, you don't want to keep setting that cycle for yourself and other people. So it's very true what you said, like be safe and be very cautious with what you do, because you don't want to keep repeating that same cycle with other people and hurting yourself even more. You know what I mean? So
and even what that song is actually called, Pain Transfers.
100%.
And that's like, that's the, like, you know, kind of the embodiment of that.
Yeah.
With like,
100.
if you get someone pregnant, they get an abortion. Now they're like
Yeah.
feeling messed up, and maybe they're coping with it through sex and
for a decision
Just
you
keeps
both
going.
made.
Yeah. So yeah, just maybe deal with it yourself and don't be afraid to open up, you know, instead of doing that, like using sex as your escape code. I know it's not easy, but there is help out there, and there is helplines out there that, you know, you're able to open up to, and that can help you.
Which we will list down below as well.
Yeah, we will. 100%. Yeah, and if you just want to give them a call and maybe talk to them about it, like that, I feel like that would be way better than you going and hurting yourself more. And other people.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I pretty much just stand by what you guys said
100%.
and what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And really recognize the emotions that you're going through and see where it could have started from.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people that move past it, a lot of people don't acknowledge it. They just block it or push it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, next question.
Yep.
That was a really good question. Thank you for sending that in.
How many questions do we have?
Yeah, there was a few. Actually, I just lied to everyone. There's not a few more questions.
Oh, true.
Yeah, that was the last one.
All right.
Yeah, thank you everyone for sending
Yeah.
questions in.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Actually, I have 2 stories to read. Okay.
Yeah.
So another post that we put up, that a few people actually wrote in about a few experiences about that they've had. So the post that we put up, it said, "Growing up Pacifica, what are your thoughts on the discussion of sex within our communities?" This person wrote it and they said, "Because my father left me, I try to find comfort in any man," just like what we were talking about earlier. Because I didn't have that connection with my dad, I was trying to find it within another male. Should have just waited because I'm fucking worth it. I also think sex ed should be compulsory in every single school.
100%.
Primary, yeah.
Oh yeah, before high school.
Yeah, 5 and 6.
Yeah. How do you is that everything that they wrote in?
What that person wrote. Yeah.
Do you want to speak a little bit on it?
Such a common thing.
Yeah.
And not to make this like, I think like it just like on neglection itself. I always question like why some people kind of sexuality wise like not tend to be like gay. And I always think like, if your dad left you, are you kind of neglect men to a certain extent? Because the person you're supposed to trust the most, or even getting like molested, you know what I mean, by your father or whatever, or could go the other way by your mother. And like I always think like,
maybe that plays a part in it.
I wonder if that plays a part. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you reckon?
No.
Yeah.
But
I do feel like.
But I feel like it could play a part in maybe not a gay person, like maybe a straight person or a person that hasn't come to terms with their sexuality. But then again, it didn't happen to me, so.
Yeah.
I mean.
Everyone's different as well. Yeah.
So I don't know, like.
I'll
I
just
could
cut
be wrong.
that out. Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
No,
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 but
but
to-
it's fine. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like it could relate to someone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Oh, I guess
So yeah,
yeah, but that I think it's just so common, like feeling worthless or
Yeah.
like, because that's a very sad thing. You know what I mean? And I grew up with kind of both parents, but like, man, if one was just not absent at all, and was just one my whole life, I think that would have been, such a hard thing for me.
Tricky.
yeah,
Yeah, and I only can imagine, what that's like, and the
Yeah.
problems it's going to bring into you as a person, especially
especially with trust. You know
Yeah.
what I mean. Like yeah, I feel like yeah as well. Like fuck, sorry to cut you, bro. Did I cut you off?
no,
Shit, sorry.
no.
I feel like I know there's a lot of posts that I've read over social media, and with girls especially, like when guys do stuff them around or anything, like they're like, oh, like I'm turning lesbian, like you know what I mean, like they
Yeah.
use that kind
Oh,
of like
yeah.
kind of-
yeah,
of
Okay,
that-
yeah.
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 yeah. So is that what you kind of meant?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
meant.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So frick, I forgot where I was going
Yeah,
with that.
just
but
kind
yeah.
of having that like bad taste in their mouth.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it just goes with like anything. And the thing that makes this harder is that, were they Polynesian?
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's a Polynesian. So you have this problem where, dad's left, and then now you're looking for love in all the wrong places, all the wrong men.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, like you can't even speak about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's such a taboo thing.
Yeah.
Just to speak in general
Yeah.
or communicate how you're feeling, with words.
Yeah. Well, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
well,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing.
Thank you so
Honestly.
much for writing in. Like,
Oh, 100%.
It's such a good
Appreciate
thing.
it.
Like
Yeah.
people share.
Yeah.
And I love that they
these kind of
trust us
things.
enough to open up.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for opening up and sharing.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Like we really appreciate it.
Straight
Yeah.
up. Straight up. But we have another one.
Yeah, let's read it.
It was pretty much the same question. Yeah, so what she wrote was religion.
Belinda.
Religion!
Oh,
Alright.
what is going
Oi,
on
I don't know,
tonight?
man. I'm still drunk.
Bender.
All right, okay. So she wrote, religion under a patriarchal household is also pretty hard to go up against. If you're the child, or like in brackets, if you're the child wanting to express your sensuality, sexuality,
Yeah.
which is the case in most Pacifica households. I find even if you don't grow up in a religious household, you most definitely still would have a strong male figure calling the shots that would have had control in stopping most emotional sexual expression. Therefore, a lack of education due to suppression for many years, which would make it uncomfortable to speak about, and reach out when curious about sex.
Yeah.
Even myself, not growing up in neither a religious or patriarchal household, still grew up with a mother that held onto a lot of misogynistic habits. Wow, we got some big words, bitch.
Yeah.
Misogynistic habits from her childhood that she couldn't help but project onto me. So a lot
Yeah.
of intergenerational trauma involved as well. It's hard. I would have loved a lot more education in school, at home, or just wish it wasn't so taboo to come across people conversating about it.
Wow.
Always learning.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
a lot to take
That
in,
was
but thank
a
you
lot.
for sharing.
That was a lot.
Yeah, well said as well.
Sugars. Could you just read the first half again?
Yeah. So religion under a patriarchal household is also
Okay.
pretty hard to go up
Sorry.
against.
What's patriarchal? Sorry,
Is that
I
like
think,
patriarch.
is that like the men?
like ranking?
Oh, that's hierarchy.
Patriarch? Because is it like royalty?
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
like.
what I was
in my
thinking.
head, that's why like I needed to read it again because
Yeah.
I was like
I
thinking
don't
like
know what that
I thought of
means.
Tonga.
like yeah because they have that
thought of
like
Samoa.
yeah
The patriarchal. Yeah.
yeah like the is it kind of like ranking? Frick,
I
this
don't
is
know.
doing my
You have
head
to
in.
look it up.
Yeah.
Oh, hard. Go. I'll look it.
Because hierarchy is a similar thing, so maybe
Yeah.
it sounds the same. So
Do you want to just go off what he just read out? Or, like, what's your thoughts on it?
it depends what that word means.
Yeah, that's why like I had to
Yeah.
quickly like just read it back because
Yeah.
like damn those big words had me like
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A
stay in
system.
school, kids.
So the definition is a system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is
Okay.
held of the family and
So, like,
descent
yeah.
is reckoned through the
Yeah.
male line.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Some
Alright.
toxic
I was right.
masculinity.
Yes. What? Say that again.
Toxic masculinity. Yeah.
No. I don't know. That's a hard one because I've met so much families where the wife runs the household.
Yeah. Oi.
You know what I mean?
Straight
Are you
up.
talking about
A
your
lot of
own?
problems. Yes, and my own. Shout out to my wife.
Yeah. Shout out to the sis.
Like me, yo. You know I'm a naughty boy. No.
You're an egg.
Nah, yeah. Well, I've definitely. That's why it's hard because I haven't seen. I've seen even, like both sides. It hasn't been like predominantly, you know, patriarchy households.
Oh, frick. Sorry. No, I'm trying to like. Can you read it one more time? I'm so sorry.
The whole thing.
Can you read it from the bottom?
Just start from A to 9.
The whole thing?
Yeah. I know. Because I can't
Okay.
answer it. Like,
Religion under patriarchal household is also pretty hard to go up against if you're the child wanting to express your sensuality, sexuality,
okay, yeah.
which is the case in most Pacifica households, which I think is true.
100.
I find even if you don't grow up in a religious household, you most definitely still would have a strong male figure calling the shots that would have control and stopping emotional sexual expression. Okay, with that, I got sexual. I got like toxic masculinity. out of
Yeah.
that. One, because you're insecure in yourself as a man to not only share the wisdom with your family, but like, what's stopping you from doing that? Like,
Yeah.
unless something's happened
Yeah.
to you that makes
Yeah, it's
so
hard
much
to say
sense.
because we don't know what's going
Yeah.
off the dad's life.
Yeah.
But for the sake of that, like we were saying earlier, like that our parents are still dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
like they're
tricky.
humans. Like they're humans as well that are going through things,
Oh,
that are
100.
experiencing.
And you know what is so crazy is that, like, for me, I feel like they had us at the age that we're at right now, you know what I mean? And it's like, when they were teaching us,
They were learning.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, how old were your parents?
when they had,
Like
Me?
the first, or the firstborn, maybe, or maybe even you.
I don't even know, to be honest.
What about you? When did you come into the?
Maybe 28, 29.
Yeah, I think my mum might have
That's
been
around- that's you
23.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that is me right
Yeah.
I
now.
always,
Oh, yeah,
I always
true.
think about that when I was
Yeah.
growing up. I always used to think, how the hell did they raise me?
Yeah.
My parents had like 18 and 19.
Shit.
Oh, my older brother.
Yeah.
So I used to think, when I was that age, I always used to
Yeah.
think back like, holy crap,
Yeah.
bro.
I'm pretty sure my
That's me,
mum,
bro.
my mum was 20 maybe.
Mm.
Yeah. How old's my oldest sister? Shit. Don't know. Sorry, sis. But yeah, I don't
Don't love
even know
you,
how to I don't even know how to respond to that. But
Yeah.
we do understand
Yeah.
like where you're coming from.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't even
Yeah, but I
pretty
feel,
much what Mihaka said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this situation, it's the
Yeah, just with like the emotion thing. My neighbor behind me,
Nice.
he was like yelling at his child, which was a boy as well, because he was crying. Like, don't yell at your children because they're crying.
Yeah. See what's
So,
wrong.
Yeah, and then anyways, so the child kept going, and the father was like mimicking every sound that the son was making. And that little part there
Me is
literally
Addy, no.
speaks.
Alright, looks like I'm gonna come to Ocus. No.
you know the guy that lives behind you. Was he throwing rocks at your garage?
No, that was just mine.
Oh, damn! True.
We don't have good neighbours, alright? No. Now I do. I'm like,
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, just like with what she's saying, like with the male figure, like controlling the emotions. Of,
Controlling everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, first of all, let your child like cry if he's gonna cry. If it's annoying you, you walk away, like, or you deal
Comfort
with it.
them,
Comfort
yeah.
him, talk to him, say why are you crying. Blah, 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 blah.
communication.
Communication is the
100.
biggest thing in life.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was really, really childish
Tough
of the father to do that.
Yeah.
But who am I? I'm not even a father, so.
But yeah, no. Thank you for sharing though.
Yeah.
But
Oi.
yeah.
I'm sure so much people
Yeah.
like exactly are living like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So are we going to try and give advice or?
Maybe we should just let that one sit with everybody.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
I felt like that was really well written.
Yeah,
for sure.
I have nothing like to add to it
Yeah.
because it was so well put.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I just feel like yeah.
I had to get it read again.
Yeah, honestly, because it was so like.
Can you read it in Spanish?
No,
Claro que sí.
but you know what I mean? Because it was so well written. He's an idiot.
Spartacus.
What the hell?
Nah, yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Shout out to who writ that, man.
Yeah, shout
That was
out.
good.
Wait,
Was there any other ones that got written in?
Yeah, there's one more.
Yep.
I think this person wrote earlier, but I wasn't able to catch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they wrote just extending on my question. Oh, I think she must have written it.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, yeah.
She wrote, for example, some oldies just tell you it's wrong or don't do it, but they don't tell you why.
Yes.
And the wrong or bleh. They don't tell you why it's wrong or the reasons,
Yeah.
which is what we've been talking about this whole episode.
Yeah.
When you question them, they think you're being disrespectful, like
Let's
what you
go.
said, or
Yep.
just think you're being moipy.
See
When
what-
asking about
Yeah.
the topic
Did I
about
write this?
sex,
I'm like,
Patriarchy. You read
I'm like, oh my gosh, what a smart girl. Nah.
yeah, because in our cultures, it's such a touchy subject. Just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you wanna? Who wants to go first? Mihaka?
I mean, we pretty much said everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like our round off, really.
Yeah. Pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like communication. Yeah. So for anyone that's wanting to talk about sex or these conversations to your children or even to your parents, yeah.
Don't shy away from it. You know, if they're not gonna teach you, I'm sure there's plenty other programs out there that can.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Or
And
other
don't be
elders.
afraid to
Yeah,
ask
or-
why they
yeah.
don't want to teach
Yeah.
you.
That's,
And,
that's such a big thing.
100%. Communication is where it's at, and everything
Yeah.
starts from home. So if you set those, morals like
And
you said
foundations,
earlier,
yeah.
and foundations, like it will be so strong, and they can carry that with them when
Yeah.
like they go out
And
to
then
the world. Yeah,
teach it onto their children, which
Oh,
will go
100.
and go and go.
yeah, 100%. So just be open, and also as well, just meet your parents halfway because
Yeah.
they're also like what's the word for it? Like I hate saying I do hate saying not educated, but
Yeah.
like they
They're just
didn't learn that as well.
uneducated,
Yeah. So just be patient with them and
Mm.
maybe find some common ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100.
Oh yeah. Shout out to everyone that wrote in.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Hopefully we did a good job in giving
Yeah.
answers.
Hopefully.
But yeah, definitely there'll be helplines that we'll put in the description.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you do need to call them, please feel free.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
hold back or anything.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
even if you want to talk to us.
Oh, honestly, our inboxes are always inboxes. But yeah, are always open.
Yeah.
So feel free. And
Yeah.
to everyone that did write in, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you so
straight up.
much for sharing.
Thank you guys so much, everybody.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So looks like we're gonna wrap this out, guys. Wrap this
Yo.
up.
Man, we have been freshing
Oh,
out
yeah,
this
I
whole
know,
episode.
man. I
So
know.
please bear with us. We're all still learning how to speak English. But yeah.
Multilingual things. No.
Yeah. Now, yeah, guys, but we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Everyone that took the time out to write all these beautiful things, these questions, their
Oh,
point of views.
100.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it, and we hope we did do you guys justice and gave you guys, maybe a little bit of different perspectives.
Yeah.
And, just
Opening
something
up.
you guys can think about or open up with your friends to talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Nivis was saying, like we're not professionals.
Yeah.
Or Miyake was saying, we're
Yeah,
not professionals.
Miyako.
We don't have parents. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing is, you have to remember we were all kids at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We're
from
all
our
still
experiences-
progressing. We're all
Oh,
still
100.
learning.
Yeah.
100%.
So much love to everyone. Thanks again.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Really
Good to be
appreciate
back.
100. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll be speaking about mental
Yes.
health.
it. Yay.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys there.
Ciao. Love you.